Hello, everyone. Today we're going to cover the mineral oil and gas rights disclosure. We're in .loop, and I'm going to show you some very basic steps on .loop to find your forms. First thing I'm going to do is go to templates. I'm going to scroll down and go to 2022-2023 NCAR interactive documents. Now, the way I use this, I don't scroll through these hundreds of documents. I use the search bar, and I know I'm looking for mineral oil and gas. All I'm going to type in is mineral, if I can spell correctly. Boom, there it is. Check it. Done. It is copied to my loop. So now the first thing I'm going to do is just click on it to open it. And this gives you an autofill selection, and it's very, very beneficial, especially when you have a 13 or 15 page long offer to purchase. But on documents like this, you can utilize it as well and go ahead and autofill all of your information that you know. I'm going to X out of it, and I want to read through this document with you real quickly so you understand how to explain it to your clients. I'm going to start at the top. Number one says Residential Property Disclosure Act require owners of certain residential real estate, such as single family homes, condos, townhomes, and the like, and buildings with up to 4 dwelling units to furnish purchasers the mineral and gas disclosure. This is the only one approved for this purpose. So if you ever see another one, don't use it. This is the only form. This form number is down at the bottom is, well, I said that. I don't know what form it is. All right, number two, a disclosure statement is not required for some transactions. A disclosure statement is required for the transfer identified in General Statute 47E-2B, including transfers of first sale of a dwelling never inhabited, new construction, in case you didn't know, lease with the option to purchase, contracts where the lessee occupies or intends to occupy the dwelling, the transfer between parties when both parties agree not to provide residential property and owner's disclosure. And then number three says you must provide to each of the following by placing a check mark in the appropriate box. So now we're going to read the bold print here. This talks about the document and their selections. It says mineral oil and gas rights can be severed from the title to real property by conveyance of the mineral rights and or oil and gas rights from the owner by reservation of the mineral rights and or gas rights by the owner. Now that sentence is a good way to start the discussion with your clients on what this document means. Most people have no idea that they could sever their mineral rights or their oil and gas rights. This did happen to me back 6 or 7 years ago. I had a buyer that was buying a property, and the attorney called us about a week before closing and said, the seller does not have mineral rights. The builder had taken them when they were doing the construction and never told anybody. So it can happen locally. This mostly comes from Texas, but it is starting to be prominent in North Carolina because of fracking. So let's continue reading. If mineral oil and gas rights are or will be severed from the property, the owner of those rights may have the perpetual right to drill, mine, explore, and remove any subsurface minerals, either directly from the surface or the property or from a nearby location. So here's where you actually rubber meets the road. The first thing I want you to notice, the initials on the left side, who fills those out? The buyer initials there. the buyer initials there. Make sure if you've got a listing, your sellers do not initial in those boxes. Number 1 says mineral rights were severed from the property by a previous owner. Yes, no, if you absolutely know they were not, or no representation, which is what most people choose. Number 2, seller has severed the mineral rights from the property. The seller is going to know if they did that or not. Yes or no. Number 3, seller intends to sever the mineral rights from the property prior to transfer of title. Yes or no. So the top section 1, 2, and 3 are about mineral rights. 4, 5, and 6 are about oil and gas rights. Same exact questions. Number 4 says oil and gas rights were severed from the property by a previous owner. Yes, no, or no representation. 5 and 6 are exactly like 2 and 3, except they are for oil and gas rights. One note to the purchasers down at the bottom in the big box. This is if the owners do not have a mineral oil and gas disclosure by the time you make your offer to purchase the property or exercise an option to purchase the property pursuant to a lease with the option to purchase, you may, under certain conditions, cancel any resulting contract without penalty to you as the purchaser. To cancel the contract, you must deliver or mail written notice of your decision to cancel to the owner or the owner's agent within 3 calendar days. Calendar days are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way through Sunday. Calendar days do include the weekend. So buyers, make sure you have this. Sellers, agents, listing agents, make sure you provide it for your clients when you post it on the MLS. Hopefully that will help you some with the mineral oil and gas. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to call me or anyone in our office or your broker in charge.